This little video is about the basics, how to build a multi-loop station or multi-loop workstation surrounding with native instruments Maschine. What we need for this is a native instruments guitar rig instance. It includes a loop machine which we want to use. We need an audio device to record your inputs and your audio gears. And we need to know how to control it, because if you play guitar or something like this, you don't want to mess around with a mouse all the time. This is impossible. I start with a brand new project and show you how to build from the scratch. So first of all, I want to start with my guitar 1. And this should be the input. Git 1. Okay. If we have a look at the I/O options here, press this one. We see in my case external inputs shown as stereo pairs, but I defined my guitar input as a mono input. So the audio and MIDI settings, which we can find here, shows us at the inputs that I know it's my analog input number 4 belongs to the external pair number 2. So that's no secret, but there's a problem I show you right now. I choose my external input number 2, and what we can hear is a noise on the left side. So the right one is my guitar and the left one is something I don't want to have. If you turn the balance now to the right position, like this, when I play my guitar again, we do have the same situation. The mono signal is on the one side, and this is not a satisfying solution. I found no cool solution with the onboard tools, so I decided to implement a further guitar rig instance. That might be a bit too much, but it isn't. Have a look, I will do that. Native instruments guitar rig. So what you can see here is that we have the choice of the inputs, about the inputs. And I definitely know that I wanted to have my right one. This is my guitar, and just have a look at this. This is the result I want to have. As I said, that might be a bit too much to implement here. A further guitar rig instance, but you get on top a gate and a limiter, which is a pretty useful thing, especially for live situations. You won't miss it anyway. You would install that. Right. As you can see, we have a well-balanced mono signal, and in the next step, we are there. They're gonna implement the loop machine, and therefore we need another guitar rig instance. I turn this off. Guitar rig, and now we don't have to separate the inputs anymore. The gate is not needed anymore. You will find the loop machine under components, tools, and here's the loop machine. There's not a lot to explain regarding the knobs and functions. Most of that is self-explaining, but the point is, if you hover over a button, it will explain what happen. In this case, press once for record, a second time for play, and a third time for overdub. This is our classical stop button, and he has a killer function, because if you press that one a second time, the memory will delete it. So everything you recorded will delete it. Boom, and this is a difference to these both buttons, undo and redo, where you go back in time and forth in time, and you can add or reduce your layers you played on. AutoStart will record your guitar at a certain decibel level. As soon as you start to touch your guitar, it will run. Overdub multiples is an interesting knob you will need if you want to record a longer loop over a short loop. The short loop is running for 8 bars and you want to play a solo or whatever, you need to press this button. These radio buttons are self-explanatory: play volume and record pan. Reverse also sync. When you stop your machine, and we will sync them, and you want to restart that, you have to press this button. You can record a variation of something you call loop A, and then you turn this button and you have loop B. Under redo I explained, and the last one is here to find. You can save the stuff you recorded in a Loopmachine own format, or you can export your mix or export your layers in the WAV format, which is pretty comfortable. So the Loopmachine is more or less ready to go. I will label this Loopmachine is not like Tractor. It's not possible to sync the recorded tempo to a different tempo than the original. So we have find a way to sync Maschine and the recording and Loopmachine with Loopmachine. This happens if the record button will be pressed when the locator is at the beginning of the beat number 1, so always here. Oops. I will code this at the beginning. So this is not possible to realize this by pressing the mouse button. So we should find a way to automate this situation, to press this button while the locator is at the beginning of that beat. Alright, and Guitar Rig gives us the possibility. That means we can combine the function knob in Guitar Rig with a controller. In this case, I would like to take the first knob in the instruments in the keyboard mode, C3. We take this pad as our controller for the record button, and I will show you this is pretty easy. You will go here with the right mouse click on the button, and you see there learn. Press learn. After that, you select your button and your instrument. So I choose your Loopmachine, and then I have to go into the keyboard mode, and there I find C3 at the first button down. So when I press now this button, he comes up with that a new MIDI or keyboard event was learned. You say OK, and if you go under options, you will see under controller that he learned something. This key number 60 is on. Maybe we want to stop the record and delete the memory. I suggest to go to learn on this button and combine it with the second pad. Just press it and he comes up again with this message, and I say OK. So what do we have done? If I press this right now, it's starting there, and if I stop it, it stops, and if I press some more times, it will delete the layer as we had seen here. The next thing we have to do is to place the action at the beginning of the first bar here over there. So I need to go in here. I choose my Loopmachine, that's the right one, and I choose the keyboard mode, and now I just have to press a double click here, make a double click here in there, and he automatically will create a pattern. And the length of the pattern depends on the pattern length you can define here. You just go in with the mouse and go up and down while you hold it, and you can change the length of the pattern. I will name this one record. And the next thing you can do, I have to delete that one. I will go in and choose the color red. Okay. What's gonna happen if we start Maschine now? It's running in the loop and start to press the record and the record button in the first round. So it's coming up, going here, and then it's passing our information, which is combined with that knob. So the recording is started. It will stop the recording in the second round and play our recording. Pressing it in the next round would start a overdub. So we don't want to have the overdub all the time. We need to interrupt the overdub round. This is done by creating an empty pattern. So how to create an empty pattern? I go here to Maschine and choose the pattern modes, and you just have to press in the next pattern where there's nothing to find in, and then he creates a pattern for you. I will call this to stop. And I will give it a color. I will give it a color green. So now we are able to record now in sync with Maschine. We can change the length of our recording in this place here in pattern length. By changing the length of the pattern, we have time enough to press the record pattern and can concentrate on that, what we want to play, what we want to record. After recording, you will press the stop pattern and the record will run only, so nothing else will happen. So I will show you. So our loop machine is ready to go, but we forgot something. We have to combine the input here with our loop machine. And this is done by pressing the output area and route this output easily to Guitar Rig 1 loop machine. Now it's going through that. Okay. So it's working as we saw. How to start and stop and sync it right now to the to Maschine. So if I start Maschine here, nothing happens. If I start now my loop machine, this is not running in sync. And here comes the little super button. Just press sync. And you see it's working. The pattern-based solution is a comfortable way to record one instrument after another. That's cool and perfect for a one-man show or little two-man bands. However, you need someone who presses the right pattern at the right time. But if you want your guitarist and your singer and whoever to start their records whenever they like, the pattern solution is at its end. We would need a remote control solution for any musician which is not based on patterns. Because you can remote control scenes in Maschine, but not patterns, especially different patterns at different times. That's not possible. Later on in the next video, I will show you a way to solve this problem. So let's come back to the basic questions and the last step. So the sound plugin and the routing of the sound, the last sound plugin. I like to have it in the third channel, and guess I choose a Guitar Rig instance here. The advantage of this solution is that you can change your sound after you recorded it. So it's just that was a clean guitar sound we recorded before we go into the plugin. Think about you're playing your stuff in a certain mood, and the next day you see, oh, it doesn't fit to the idea I had. Basically, I have a different drum sound, and however you want to change your sound, and that gives you the possibility here to go on. So what do we have to do? Actuate both of them. I don't need the gate. Maybe I need a limiter here at the end, but most of these projects are well balanced. So I go into my loop project and just choose the easy blues clean tool. We can go back here and just play it and have experience with that. But first of all, we have to route it through the sound. Another thing is why I like this solution to separate these functions: sound, recording of your loops, and input. If you want to change your sound automatically, you can do this right now. So you will go here, and I will name this plugin or sound plugin. Okay. To change these presets, you have to send the program change information, and you will find this program change information right here. You will go in there, and now you go with the right mouse on it, and on top there's a program change information. It's a bit tricky because you have to take care about the countings. This is started by 0, 0, 1, and the other one starts by, I don't know, 0, 0. So we will go in here and choose number whatever, 4, and start. As it turns this information, you just go back to that one, and now we see here we choose number 5, and 0, 0, 0 is 1, so it's 1 on top. One of the advantage to work then with Maschine is the following step. I will show you that. So you don't want to have one guitar sound. You maybe want to have 2 or 3 guitar sounds and you want to have more inputs to record something. You want to record your drums, you want to record whatever, keyboards and whatever you have. What can we do? The easy way to work with that little surrounding is to add another group. And then you say here with the right mouse click on the Git first, copy that one. Go back to C1, the new group, and easy say paste. The basic things are all here right now. You have to change the input and you have to change the sound you want to have here at the end. The point is that everything is being copied, so including the start and stop patterns. Everything is working pretty fine on these new groups. This was the little video about the basics to create a multi-loop station surrounding with native instruments. The next video is about the start-stop solution for all of you musicians without patterns. We talked about that. We will implement basic instruments and start to create the workstation surrounding. This means to create your music and breaks on the fly while you are playing. We need some tools for that, and the big fun's starting there.